if there's somebody who's suffering from hair loss right now,
Mm-hmm.
what is the one thing they need to change or stop doing immediately?
Well, if someone is suffering from hair loss, I think it's important to understand what type of hair loss are we talking about. So, are we talking about genetic predisposition hair loss or consequential hair loss? So that's two different things. If you
Okay.
are if you have a genetic predisposition, then it's something that you need to look or you need to support the same way as any other genetic condition. Like when we talk about thyroid or immune or any type of degenerative genetic condition needs to
Like
be
an
addressed.
autoimmune disease.
Exactly. So when there is androgenetic, which is the toughest one because it's part of your constitution, is what you inherit from mom and dad. So, and that is it kind of reveals from the puberty to the beginning of adult stage. And you can easily tell it's not about the high quantity of hair that you lose, is when you're noticing throughout the renewal process, which could be very silent. So it's not that genetics, like all of a sudden you lose a huge amount of hair.
Yeah.
It kind of develops silently. So you starting to realize that the hair that you're renewing is not translating into newer growth. So the areas start becoming sparse
Yeah.
and thinner. And most of the times when people realize that, they already lost a big percentage of hair. And if a body or if an organ, whatever it is, degenerates permanently, or if the follicle closes, then you cannot reactivate it anymore.
Okay.
So this is a genetic development type of hair loss.
Okay.
So it's very easy to spot, like as you look at your hair every day and you understand the amount, the quantity when you put it up. So you can kind of tell if you are prone for permanent reduction or not. Then we're moving on into all the consequential types of reduction. And the consequential are to do with reactions from the body. So it's actually very difficult to spot because hair does not interfere with any organ internally. Like whether you have hair or you don't have hair, the other organs function perfectly. But the other way around, it's not the same.
If another organ is not functioning well,
so
it
if
will
you have thyroid or hormonal or immune or post-pregnancy or medication or toxins or food intolerances, this can affect the hair as a consequence, not as a genetic. Give an example. Imagine me, like I have no predisposition for genetics. I do treatments, obviously, and all of that. But as my genetic point, there is a very minimal type of reduction that I have, that I inherit. So I'm now at the age of 45 and I know that I'm not going to lose the crown or the top. This is for sure my genetic. But I study and I test the hair and because I'm in the industry, but it's very obvious that you see people that have no genetics. They live with hair their entire lives. But if I would have, touch wood, but if I would have to go under chemotherapy, for instance, tomorrow, the hair would fall.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it.
So it is nothing to do with the genetic. It's nothing to do with your constitution. It's to do with the consequence.
Yes. Okay. So let me simplify this. If, say, someone is having hair loss or hair fall, is there a difference between hair loss and hair fall?
Well, hair loss, it translates into reduction. So you're losing the hair, and usually is a permanent reduction. So
and hair fall
suffering for hair loss, it's usually related to the genetics. So the hair will fall
and
doesn't come back. Yeah.
Okay. So if someone is suffering from hair loss because of genetics, are there things that could help them or no?
I mean, there is a huge range of technology that aims to minimize the genetic degeneration. So that's why I always teach my clients about the concept of treating genetic hair loss is the same as if you would have to address thyroid. It's not that you're
Hmm.
doing for a period of time and you
So
stop.
also, Ricardo, it's very mental. For some reason, if the other organs in my body are not functioning at their optimum, I'm okay. But if my hair
No,
is not
no,
functioning at my
don't
optimum,
say
my mental health is down in the dumps.
that.
It's down in the
I mean,
dumps.
you must realize that a lot of people, when they see changes on the hair, they immediately question: Is that could that be hormones? Could that be mineral? Like, could that be lack of vitamins? Could that be hormonal? I think
The question to ask is, could it be genetics? Is that an important question to
I
ask?
think
Because
people kind of deny or feel too scared of like assuming that could be genetics, because genetics is definitely I think it's still the biggest taboo, because effectively people see it as as the big monster. That if I announce to a person that you have a genetic predisposition for reduction, people feel like, okay, it's like a death sentence, like I'm gonna be bald. But if you get the news, okay, you have to take 75 milligrams of thyroxine for your thyroid to work well, you take that for the rest of your life tranquil. So it's the perception of how this genetic degeneration is going to impact you, because the thing is, the fact that you could have a genetic predisposition for a malfunction of every organ, it doesn't mean that the organ is disappearing or is going to die if you don't support it. The same way as you addressing organs that could degenerate genetically, you can do that with the hair. But bear in mind that if you catch it from early stage, you are able to teach or to preserve what is
correct, correct.
meant to be
Yeah.
disappearing in a few years. So if you manage to catch it, and if you manage to suppress or minimize the impacts of the genetics on the hair, the same way as you do with thyroid, you actually manage to secure an amount of hair. But some people actually don't want to have the trouble, like especially men, like to turn up here without hair, and it could be a trichologist and could have a bald pattern, which is quite common. Like a lot of
Oh, really?
trichologists have a bald a bald head.
Is
It's
that
not the
what got
case.
them into the profession?
Probably. It doesn't mean that it's socially acceptable for a man. So if I arrive to you with a sort of pattern reduction, is it's fine.
Okay.
It's okay.
It's
Like
the average man.
I could be socially accepted. So I could decide not to do anything about this genetic degeneration, because hair doesn't affect my body. What I'm gonna do, I shave it. I'm perfectly fine to show up in public. I walk into a building, I sit down in a meeting, I look in front of a camera, and I know on the other side people are not gonna feel shocked at the fact that I have no hair per se as a man.
Absolutely.
But that's not an option for a woman. Like if a woman turns up with reduction, with a sort of a pattern developing in public, you can't avoid, like your eyes will go immediately to the hair for a woman, and then people relate it like, oh, is the person unwell? Is that hormonal, or is maybe is the person undergoing chemotherapy? Like people do question that, but you don't question that when you see a guy with a bald pattern. Like you can see a guy with a full
Wow, Ricardo,
runway,
I've
and you're
never,
like,
yeah,
oh, the guy is bald. That's
sorry.
it. Like it is socially
Yeah,
acceptable,
I've
and
never thought of this, by the way.
but that gives the people the option to do it or not. The thing, like now, like we started with a little bit with the consequential, like your postpartum, and now
Correct.
we are like in depth into the genetics, because
Yes.
genetics are tough. Genetics is what defines you as a person. This is your eye color, your hair color, your skin color, your blood type. This is what you inherit from your family. You cannot run away from it. You cannot, oh, tomorrow I want to have blue eyes. I mean, you can
Wear lenses,
in
yeah.
lasers and biohacking, but you cannot just take a pill and that changes. Like the genetics are very, very difficult to control, but they can be optimized. Like every degenerative condition that we could inherit from our family, when it comes to genetic reduction on the hair or hair loss, it can be addressed. It can be supported if you want to retain it, but it has to be taken serious, because it's not like a one course of medication for a month and the problem is solved. No, you have to see that exactly as you see any other degenerative condition.
Yeah, you need to see a specialist. You need to see a doctor.
Exactly. And you need to take blood tests, and you need to measure your metabolism and your biochemistry.